You can see how Putin used this by looking at his relationship with Britain's most famous Russian, Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich. Now, he was one of the unwitting donors to Putin's palace. He thought all his cash would be spent on healthcare, and he gave more than $200 million.
Abramovich's role was rather simple. He provided $203 million.
So were these oligarchs effectively just paying tribute to Vladimir Putin?
I think this is exactly what they thought.
Abramovich and other wealthy Russians are expected to pay for important projects like hosting the 2018 World Cup.
Я не исключаю, что господин Абрамович может принять участие в одном из таких проектов. Но пусть раскошелится немножко, ничего страшного, у него будет, у него много там денег.
FIFA World Cup, ladies and gentlemen, will be organized in Russia.
But we have been told about a gift that can't be explained away as good for anyone other than Vladimir Putin. A $35 million yacht like this one, given by Roman Abramovich. And our source is the man who managed the yacht. He fell out with the Kremlin. He's a wanted man in Russia, and he's living in the UK.
Hi, Dmitry, I'm Richard. Yes, nice to meet you.
Dmitry Skarga says he helped oversee the transfer of the boat from Abramovich to Putin.
I was on board of this yacht at the end of March 2002 in Amsterdam, and there was a representative of Mr. Abramovich.
Skarga says the yacht was given to an offshore company, but the real owner was President Putin.
Vladimir Putin visited this yacht, definitely now, at the autumn of 2002 in Sochi. This yacht was maintained and paid for running costs from state budget.
Why would it be kept secret?
Because it belongs personally to Putin, not to the state.
We've seen documents that appear to support Skarga's story. Roman Abramovich's lawyers said the claims were unsubstantiated, little more than a rehash of speculation and rumours. But they didn't specifically deny that he had given President Putin a yacht. You can hardly blame Abramovich for wanting to keep on Putin's good side. Standing up to him can be dangerous.
Масштабы коррупции в России в районе 30 миллиардов оценивается долларов. Это 10-12% ВВП.
This is billionaire Mikhail Khodorkovsky publicly challenging Putin about corruption. And this is where he ended up. Khodorkovsky was jailed for tax evasion and embezzlement. His business was taken by the Russian state.
The beauty of the system is that it's organized and run according to the old adage, for my friends everything, for my enemies the law. The message that Putin chose to send to all of them was that I can put you in prison for anything. I don't need to have a watertight case. So that is the genius of the system.
Sergei Pugachev claims he lost his business too. He started a multi-billion-dollar compensation claim against the Russian state. But the Russian authorities accuse him of stealing billions of dollars from a bank he used to own.
There is no court in Russia. That's why I went to the international court. I am convinced that I will win.
The Russian state says that you effectively looted your bank after it was bailed out by the Russian central bank. Did you do that?
Well, of course not. These are absurd accusations, not substantiated by anything.
We don't know who's telling the truth about Pugachev's fortune, but the allegation is clear. Putin controls the super-rich in Russia.
People who possess a fortune, a large business in Russia, realize that they do not own this because everything depends on Putin. They depend 100% on his mood.
For those who've been in Putin's circle, the benefits have been immense. A cellist who is godfather to Putin's daughter has a valuable stake in a major Russian bank. A neighbor has an even bigger stake. Another neighbor ended up running the railways. A childhood friend has made a fortune from government contracts. And his brother has made even more. The Americans say this is how Putin's Russia works.
We've seen him enriching his friends, his close allies, and marginalizing those who he doesn't view as friends, using state assets, whether that's Russia's energy wealth, whether it's other state contracts. He directs those to whom he believes will serve him and excludes those who don't.
And if you want to make money in Russia, this is the industry. The nation's greatest riches are in oil and gas. Russia exports well over 1 billion barrels of oil a year. And here too, Vladimir Putin has been accused of taking a cut for himself.
Putin came, he established a system where high-ranked officials actually want to control vital strategic assets. What we have now are a bunch of shady guys who barely appear in public and who control vital businesses linked to the state, which makes one think and wonder whether they are real beneficiaries of their business or somebody super powerful is really behind their back.
I've come to New York to meet a man who says Putin took a slice of his oil business. He's yet another Russian who's fled abroad. He says his life has been threatened. This is his first TV interview.
Max. Hi. Pleased to meet you. I'm Richard.
Max Friedson started his business in St. Petersburg when Putin was deputy mayor. Putin gave him a monopoly to supply oil to the local airport. But he says the help came at a price.
I know from my business partner that Putin asked for a share in the business. Initially, they were asking for 15%. He called them greedy bastards. He managed to talk them down to 4%. Obviously, this wasn't registered in any official papers.
The Kremlin says Max's story is untrue. But the Americans have highlighted another energy company that they say Putin has links to. It's called Gunvor. According to the Americans, Putin had secret investments in the company.
What exactly do you mean by investments?
We believe that it's a place where he's stored money.
And how much money would you say?
I can't give you an estimate on that.
Gunvor told us these claims were illogical and preposterous conspiracy theories, and that President Putin does not and never has had any ownership in Gunvor. The Americans insist they're right, but they haven't provided any evidence. It's important because Gunvor has traded much of Russia's state oil. It's made big profits, and nearly half of the company was owned by this man, Gennady Timchenko, one of Putin's friends. He's now sold his stake. It's said he's worth $10 billion. And he's on the US sanctions list. The Americans claim his activities in the energy sector have been directed by President Putin.
Has Gennady Timchenko been holding wealth for Vladimir Putin, do you think?
It's, I don't know if I would put it exactly that way in terms of holding his wealth. I can say that he has been tremendously enriched personally by Vladimir Putin, as have another handful of people in Putin's inner circle. And of course there are allegations, suspicions that he holds tremendous amounts of Putin's wealth.
Gennady Timchenko's lawyers said the US has never produced any evidence, and its claims were propaganda in which our client is a collateral target. Mr. Timchenko categorically denies that President Putin has ever controlled his assets or enriched him. But two of our sources say Mr. Timchenko was very much under the control of Vladimir Putin.
How do you know that?
From Mr. Timchenko himself, that you see, sometimes he could just pointing up in talks and saying that everything is controlled by Mikhail Ivanovich. Mikhail Ivanovich is a nickname for the Putin.
From the very start, Putin understood that money which Timchenko was managing, one way or another, without any doubt, belonged to Putin. It was never a secret.
Mr. Timchenko's lawyers say our two main sources are not credible and may have access to grind. President Putin denies all the allegations in this program. His spokesman declined to answer our absurd questions because the issues we had raised were pure fiction. This all matters because President Putin is one of the most powerful people on the planet. But he's been accused of using that power to enrich himself on a vast scale.
I started arguing with Shamalov, and he said to me, "Who do you think you are? You're a serf." The Tsar, he often called Putin the Tsar made a decision. Your job is that of a serf, to deliver.
Some say Putin can demand anything he wants, so almost any figure for his wealth is meaningless.
Putin considers everything within the territory of the Russian Federation, everything that can be converted into cash, to be his own.
How would you describe that kind of wealth?
Describe as a kind of Arabic fairy tales. So it just with the fingers sleep and everything is arranged.
Putin has been accused of corruption on an extraordinary scale. The modern Tsar, who plundered his own empire.
Meeting the nationalists who idolise Putin and threaten foreigners. Reggie Yates' Extreme Russia on BBC Three now. Next here on BBC One, an armed response has far-reaching consequences for the police. Brand new, Silent Witness.
A teenager who stabbed to death a boy he